At this time, I'd like to introduce Jeff Lemmer, Director IT Operations, and Brian Harris, Human Resource Associate, IT Application Development. Gentlemen, welcome to the call.
Thanks, Ryan. If you want to go ahead and go to the next screen, we'll walk you through our agenda for this afternoon's session. So first, we'll start off with just giving you some high-level views of Ford Motor Company at a glance. I'll introduce you a little bit further to our guest speaker, Jeff, this afternoon, who is going to walk you through some information technology opportunities here at Ford Motor Company. As some of those on the call may not be local to Michigan, we'll walk you through some information about the great state of Michigan and everything that we have to offer. As Ryan said, we have some time for Q&A, and then we'll also remind you of the application process. If you go to the next screen, please. So at the top of the screen, you'll see Ford's mission. Ford Motor Company is focused on creating a strong business that builds great products that contribute to a better world. Here at Ford, we do offer a full line of high-quality vehicles that celebrate all aspects of our customers' needs, from the fun-to-drive Mustang, a Ford icon, by the way, to the fuel-efficient Focus and Fusion sedans, to the versatile vehicles like the Explorer and the F-150, just to name a few of those. And while innovation is not only at the forefront of our vehicle lineup, I think we'll show you over the next few minutes what the IT organization's commitment to innovation is as well. And we here at Ford also value building a diverse, skilled, and motivated team across the globe. Next slide, please. What you see here on the screen is the One Ford plan, and that's the Ford focus on this plan and strategy for our company has remained unchanged, even though we've had some recent leadership change over the last year or so. We're going to aggressively restructure to operate profitably at the current demand and changing model mix. We're going to accelerate development of our new products that our customers will want and value. We'll finance our plan and improve our balance sheet. And then we're going to work together effectively as one team. Almost all of our employees carry this One Ford plan on a pocket card as a constant reminder of our unwavering plan and what's really expected from all of our Ford Motor Company employees. If you go to the next slide, please. And then here you see a number of photographs that are taken around the company as a whole that show our passion for our business and our customers. Ford really is a family-based company, and our whole culture is around that family and built around safety of our vehicles, of our manufacturing facilities, and just how we work on a day-to-day basis. So you're going to see images here from a few of our manufacturing facilities and vehicles going down the line and what that looks like, how we truly embrace innovation and how we work, and even how we enjoy the journey and working with each other. Next slide, please. So before I pass the ball over to Jeff, let me spend some time introducing myself a little further as well. If you go to the next slide. Again, my name is Brian Harris, and I'm part of the HR function here at Ford Motor Company. I've been with Ford for 12 years in the Human Resource Skill Team, and 2 years most recently here as a Human Resources Business Partner to the IT Skill Team. It's really been eye-opening to be a business partner to IT, especially in this time, and seeing exactly how fast the IT world moves and exactly how we can partner with the operations skill team and really drive forward the business. So it's been a really great time not only to be at Ford, but also to be supporting IT. If you go to the next slide, I'll go ahead and introduce our guest speaker, Jeff Lemmer. Again, he's the Director of IT Operations. Jeff, why don't you take a moment, introduce yourself, and then talk about some of the opportunities within IT here at Ford.
Sounds great. Thanks, everyone, for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us today. I'll go through the presentation here a minute to give you a little bit more background about Ford IT, but I'll start with kind of introducing myself. So I've actually been with the company 28 years and had a great opportunity over those 28 years to do some really great things across the IT organization. My current role is Director of IT Operations. This is a global role. As you'll see in a minute, I'll talk about the organization. Many of our senior leadership roles are global in perspective. My organization is responsible for supporting the overall operations of the company, and that is everything from end-user desktop support to supporting the core infrastructure across the enterprise. That includes our corporate networks, our core data centers that run most of the applications that we run on a global basis. So it's a very global role in nature, as I mentioned, and a team that works together to make sure that we support the needs of our customers, whether they be external customers or the Ford team globally. Let me go to the next slide. So let me take a minute and I'll talk a little bit about the IT organization and how we're organized. Our Chief Information Officer is Marcy Claiborne. Marcy has responsibility for the team globally, and we're set up across a set of functions, including that are global in nature. The next slide I want to talk a little bit about, and that's here on the screen, is around our competencies and job families. So we're organized basically with a set of job families. These are very consistent with what you'll see across the industry in terms of typical job functions. When somebody comes into the company, sometimes they'll focus in a specific job family, whether it be business analysis or, as you go through the list, perhaps solution quality assistance or technology management. Over the course of their career, they work to develop different competencies, which you'll see on the left-hand side. And those competencies vary by specific job families. So as you look at different positions that you'd be applying for within the company, you'll see these job families that, again, those would be the types of positions that you would apply for. And then we work to develop employees across the competencies that are critical for their specific job function and make that as part of their regular development plans. Okay, next slide. So let me talk a little bit about the types of jobs and types of roles that you would see within the IT function. Starting with manufacturing, and obviously a very important part of the company, as at the end of the day, we make great products for our customers. IT is a core element within these plants, whether they be from the core networks to the data centers within the plants that really support the production systems, whether they be production monitoring, alarms that are set up, and all of the applications that support the various functions within the plant. IT plays a very critical role. And there's a lot of different job functions. And I mentioned a couple, whether it be network planning, database management, application development, or support, are all different types of roles that you would see in a manufacturing plant. Next slide. Another area is finance systems. And so obviously out in the industry, big data, data analytics is certainly a lot in the news. And this is an area that we leverage in our finance area, a lot of those types of capabilities. So in this chart, you see some of the functions, whether they be data management in terms of data prep for feeds into our base database systems and our data warehouses. These systems really help the business to have a global view of all of our financials. These are critical for us to be able to leverage understanding vehicle pricing or incentives, and it really gives us a great perspective in terms of how the company is performing on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis. This is a very complex architecture and very large in scale and global reach. And so it requires a lot of different skill sets to be able to support this from an IT perspective. Next slide. I think we might have to go back a slide. There we go. So marketing, sales, and service is another key area that we're working with very closely with a cross-functional team. And whether it be the core digital content that you see here, if you went out to Ford.com, that you'd see on our site, This allows you to basically go out and build a vehicle, price a vehicle, and set up a configuration that you'd be able to go into the dealership and actually order. This involves a lot of IT systems, not only in terms of the base content that you see displayed here, but all the systems that we have to be able to access to be able to on a global basis. And so it gives IT professionals a lot of opportunities, whether it be base content management, database or infrastructure, or base application support. Next slide. The next area is product development systems. This is an area that IT plays a key role in terms of working with our engineering community. And here you see the CAD/CAM simulation type capability that we work very closely with PD Systems. This allows them to basically go out and build a vehicle from a bottom-up perspective without necessarily going out and building a prototype. They're able to build a lot of different simulations, and they also leverage high-performance computing to be able to simulate crash testing. This really allows them to be much more efficient before they actually go on to the next processes to actually build the prototypes and ultimately build a vehicle that we're able to deliver to our customers. Next slide. The next area I want to talk a little bit about is connected vehicle systems. And this is an area that is foundationally changing not only the IT organization, but the company as a whole. It's a cross-functional effort as it requires folks from not only IT, but also from our product development communities and also within the marketing and sales areas. It's very large in scale and volume as we look to build out this capability across our fleet of vehicles globally, and certainly requires a lot of complex integration. And you can see some of the elements here, whether they be our back-end legacy systems, ultimately connecting up into the modems that would sit within our vehicles, across the networks with the types of devices that our customers will be able to connect with within the vehicle. Next slide. Another area that we're working very closely, and again, this is a very cross-functional effort, is within the in-vehicle systems. So Sync is our capability that we have within a vehicle today that someone is able to bring in their own personal devices to be able to connect up. Again, a very cross-functional effort and a large scale that requires a lot of integration across a variety of systems. Next slide. The next area I want to talk a little bit about is the connected consumer systems. Today, within our electric vehicles, we offer capability for customers to be able to go out and monitor the status of their vehicle. And you see some of that application displayed here. In our electric vehicle, monitoring the overall battery life or capacity within the vehicle. This application has a very close integration to all of the systems that exist within the vehicle, but also in terms of the applications from a business perspective that are required to basically show the capability of what the vehicle can perform. Again, another cross-functional team, requires a lot of consumer content, large scale and integration and deployment across a set of various technologies, offers a lot of opportunities for IT professionals. Next slide. Another emerging area is autonomous vehicles. And when you look at our vehicle fleet today, you'll see a lot of autonomous type capability, whether it's cruise control that automatically adjusts or warnings that are offered based upon side views. The capabilities is really being built into our vehicle fleet today. And as we look towards the future, building that capability more and more requires a lot of work and efforts, not only in terms of the product development teams, but also closely working with the IT organization. The amount of lines of code and CPU systems that exist within the vehicle is extensive and requires a lot of knowledge in terms of not only security but also safety, as those are paramount to support our customers. Next slide. So Brian, I think I'm going to turn it back over to you, and you can talk a little bit about Michigan and what's going on.
Thanks, Jeff. So yeah, as we talked about, as many of you may not be that familiar with Michigan, just wanted to share with you all the things that are going on right now in Michigan. So if you weren't aware, we're just a bridge away from Canada, and we also celebrate the 4 seasons. So we do allow year-round activity, whether it be golf, swimming, boating, skiing, snowmobiling in the winter. We have a lot to offer. Detroit actually has a vibrant music and art scene, and you're probably aware that we are a very, very big sports city. So as you can see, there's Comerica Park where the Detroit Tigers play, Ford Field where the Lions play, and we also have the Detroit Red Wings in downtown Detroit as well, with the Detroit Pistons not too far away as well. Michigan has a vibrant downtown scene as well. Areas like Royal Oak or Novi, a very short drive away from Detroit or even the Dearborn area where Ford is based, offers a lot of exciting things to do. There's a lot of areas, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, that the pristine forests or lakes of what we would call up north, which is only a few hour drive away, as well as sandy beaches of Lake Michigan, and it really is a boater's paradise with more than 11,000 lakes, putting us at the #2 boating state. Apparently we used to be #1, but Arizona just took us over. If you do like to travel, we are in a great location. Just a short drive away or a short trip away is Chicago, Toronto, Niagara Falls, even the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. You can camp and kayak in the forest and the wilderness. Mackinac Island is a must-see if you're ever in Michigan, as well as not too far away is Cedar Point and Kings Island, where probably the country's greatest roller coasters are. Next slide, please. With that, it really is a great time to work at Ford. This is just a list of top 10 reasons to work at Ford that we've gotten just by asking our employees. So we offer exciting products. We're an iconic brand and company. We do have a global presence, and we're growing more and more every day. We're an industry leader in technology and sustainability. We integrate technology into people's lives, so a lot of that connected vehicle items that Jeff talked about is really at the forefront of what we do every day. We are a collaborative culture. We really thrive on teams working together and creating that environment where it's not just one person doing everything, it's teams working together to get the best product through. We're over 100 years old. We have a solid leadership team. We really are one of the best corporate comeback stories ever within the last couple of years. And we truly are one Ford team as we value working together. Next slide. That really brings us to the conclusion of our materials. We hope throughout our time together, we've shown you how Ford values innovation. We do have some time slotted for questions. Ryan, do you want to give us a couple of questions that have come in?
Yes, let's take a look and see what questions we have coming in. As a reminder for everybody, if you do have questions, you can use the Q&A panel at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Please enter your questions in there. We will start to gather those questions and share them with both presenters today. We do have a couple of questions that we have in at this time. Let's take a look. Okay, first question is, what type of training opportunities, both internally and externally, does Ford offer for technology professionals for growth and to harness their skill sets?
So I can take that question. This is Jeff. So I mentioned previously in terms of the job families and the competencies, and we actually work with employees as part of our career development process on an annual basis to look at how they're performing within their individual job family and the competencies that either they're meeting or exceeding. We then use that to build development plans which then folks are able to build a plan to go off and execute. Training is critical within the IT industry, and allowing employees to get the opportunities to not only continue to build their skill sets, but to understand what is going out in the industry. So the team has the opportunity to attend various external events to understand and bring that expertise back into the company. So whether it's in the classroom training or going out in the industry training, those are ways that folks are able to help build their competencies and build their capabilities within their individually selected job family.
And if I could add to that, from an HR standpoint, from a company-wide perspective, we have a lot more tools and resources that today, more so than we've had in the past, that allow us from an HR standpoint to support our skilled teams like IT and really driving those career development plans through and down to the lowest level of organization. So it isn't just prioritizing a certain leadership level or really focusing on development. It's allowing the supervisor and their employee to really have a meaty discussion about what the employee needs to get the most out of their assignment and to help them ultimately get their goals while they're here at Ford Motor Company.
Great. Is IT at Ford focused on a learning environment or structured more as individual contributors?
So Jeff, I'll take that one, and if you want to jump in at the end, by all means. So I think as we talked about, it is a learning environment. It's becoming more of a culture of a team environment versus individual contributions. While employees are going to have times when they're working on specific plans or projects or individual iterations of projects, our mindset within Ford is really changing the culture of how we work together, whether it be changing the furniture of an office so that way a team feels more collaborative and getting teams together, co-located together so they can really solve the problem in the most effective and efficient way, to creating us with the tools and resources to be able to connect at any point, whether it be in the same room or across the globe, and providing us the resources to connect and really strive the team working together. Jeff, what are your perspectives? I know I see that when I support application development, but I know you've had a lot of experiences too. How do you see that?
I see, there's a lot of opportunities to really work in a team-based environment. When you look at a lot of the capabilities in terms of application development, whether it be agile programming or even team pairing type development opportunities, it really relies on folks working together. We talked a little bit about global and the global nature of our teams, and it really requires folks to work together from not only folks within your individual region, but folks across region. And I think that's another way that we really work together as a global team.
Great. Another question we have that came in is, I'm not local to the Detroit area, but I meet most of what you're asking for or describing in these opportunities. Are relocation options available for these positions?
Yeah, we do offer relocation. Once you would go through the entire process of the interview process, you would work with one of our HR professionals and our IBM partners in discussing kind of what options that you have. But yes, we do support and offer relocation as well.
Great. I think we have time for probably 2 more questions. And so one of those questions is, how do IT professionals advance at Ford?
I'll start from my perspective in supporting the application development organization, and then Jeff, if you want to add in. Really what I've seen is willing to stretch themselves into not just operating in what is a strength, but also developing what may be opportunities. So it may be seeing different organizations. It may be building a technical capability. It may be taking an assignment that might be a little bit outside of the comfort zone and learning about the business and getting a little bit of an exposure that is outside of what would be maybe just true technical IT is kind of what I see beneficial in my kind of broad perspective. Jeff?
I think another way that individuals advance is taking advantage of the resources that are available. And I mentioned training. We have a very rich process in terms of continuous feedback with employees, not only in terms of competency development, but also in terms of performance review processes. And then I think really across the leadership team, we have individuals that are really willing to work with each other to give continuous feedback for opportunities and for improvement, and also to mentor employees, give them opportunities in terms of, different perspectives as different members of the leadership team have perhaps gone down different paths to develop themselves. And I think we've got a culture here that really across all levels of leadership to really help each other out and help build and develop the leaders of the future.
That's great. Let's go ahead and take one more question, and this may be something both of you might want to answer. Why did you choose Ford, and why do you stay with the company?
I'll go ahead and I'll start with that one. So I chose Ford because Ford's always been in my family. My mom worked at Ford prior to me, so I have a lot of loyalty to Ford Motor Company. It's helped put food on my family's plate for a very long time. And I stay with the company because I have I have a career's worth of an opportunity here at Ford Motor Company. What I could get bouncing around to different companies, I can do internal to Ford. I've been in a plant and manufacturing environment from a labor relations standpoint for HR. I'm now in an HR business partner role supporting IT. And I have the opportunity to play just about every role from my career standpoint that I would want to. And so it's really refreshing to say I don't have to leave Ford Motor Company. I can stay here and get every experience that I'd like to get.
I think the opportunity that really brought me here was the wide range and scope of different things that you could do over the course of your career, as Brian kind of mentioned. When you look at it from an IT perspective, there's probably just about any possible technology or possible opportunity that you could explore within the company. Even during my breadth of 28 years, I haven't had a chance to touch every different function, and it really keeps you challenged. I'd say what has kept me here is the culture and the people. Our people are our most valuable asset, and the relationships that you build over the course of their career. I have friends that when I started with the company, I still have those relationships. And as you go across different functions, you find just a culture here that's, I think, very unique and different, and it makes it very attractive for people to spend a full career here at Ford.
Great, and thank you. And I want to thank everyone for attending today's call, and of course, our presenters for the great information that they shared today. Shortly after the call today, everyone that is in attendance will receive an email detailing how to apply for any of these openings and groups that we are speaking about today. You will also receive the links to download the presentation as well as a video recording. If these openings are of interest and you would like to be considered for an opportunity here at Ford Motor Company, please apply using the links in that email that you will receive, and a Ford recruiter will review your information promptly and will be in touch regarding next steps in the hiring process. Thank you, Jeff and Brian, for your time today, and of course to everyone on the call for taking the time to attend, and we look forward to speaking with you.